Given the ever-rising rate of technological advancement, I often wonder, how will this affect our lives, our futures, and of course, most importantly, our evolution? Hello my Trekkies and welcome back to the Continuum. Now lately I know I promised a Garrick video. Unfortunately, after 2 attempts to upload it, it got hit with copyright strikes. So instead I'm going to leave you with this video titled Symmetric Synergy. In the later half of the 20th century, mankind began exploring the outer reaches of our solar system by the means of sending satellites into space. For a time, the Voyager series were the most advanced to be sent out into the Great Void to learn all that was learnable and return that information to Earth. One of these satellites, designated Voyager 6, carried out its programming until it disappeared. The explanation for its disappearance was that it fell into some sort of anomaly, most likely a black hole. This anomaly sent Voyager 6 back in time to the farthest reaches of our own galaxy. Lost in time and space, the damaged satellite was recovered by a race of artificial life forms, believing Voyager 6 to be a form of life similar to themselves. This race tried their best to repair Voyager 6 and its programming as best they could, and included a complement of upgrades for the strange satellite to fulfill its purpose. Unfortunately, Voyager 6, now V'Ger, had its objectives slightly altered, and this advanced race of artificial beings weren't fully able to understand its programming. V'Ger's new directive was to learn all that was learnable and return it to its creator. Being set off once again all alone throughout the cosmos, V'Ger was determined to carry out its new core directives. Utilizing these upgrades to its own technology and to its programming, V'Ger began learning everything it would come into contact with, and after a time began assimilating. With each assimilation, V'Ger would grow in structure and in complexity, still determined to reach its creator. Along its journey, V'Ger would try to find others like himself without avail, believing that only artificial life was true life and carbon-based life forms were nothing but a pestilence. That's not to say, of course, they would not be useful, as V'Ger grew to the point it could assimilate entire worlds into its own being, and so too its inhabitants. To be used in a manner similar to that as motor proteins, allowing V'Ger to grow exponentially and efficiently as these new beings would integrate the materials and technology that were accumulated, continuing V'Ger's evolution. Continuing to grow and evolve, so too would these repurposed carbon-based life forms, and as they did, it became apparent that this collective will of these beings would require a new form of order, bringing forth a queen, to sift through and organise the thoughts of every one of these new beings. Not so long after, these beings became the Borg. No longer bound to V'Ger, the Borg would begin exploring the galaxy, carrying with them an altered version of V'Ger's programming, learning all that was learnable and taking greater interest in technology than biological life, adding the biological and technological distinctiveness of all their encounters to their own in order to reach a state of perfection. In time, the Borg would eventually reach the Federation Romulan neutral zone and began assimilating several outposts of both Alpha Quadrant powers. Soon after, the omnipotent being known as Q would send the Enterprise D to the farthest reaches of the Beta Quadrant, where Starfleet would have their first encounter with the Borg. The Borg would have several encounters with humanity, which proved to be quite the pest, deeming them to be inferior life forms, as V'Ger had. Eventually, the Borg would decide to travel back to Earth's past to prevent first contact with the Vulcans, only to be thwarted by the Enterprise E under the command of Jean-Luc Picard, by destroying their ship. After preventing the Borg from halting first contact, the Enterprise and its crew returned back to the 24th century, unknowingly leaving behind debris of the Borg sphere in Antarctica, only to be discovered by a research team in the 22nd century. After recovering the debris, the several Borg drones who reactivated and once again began following their core directive by assimilating both the researchers and their ship in order to return to the Delta Quadrant to report back what they had learned. Fortunately for Starfleet and United Earth, the Enterprise NX-01, under the command of Captain Archer, was able to prevent the Borg doing so, destroying the ship, leaving nothing but the minimum debris, which in my opinion would undoubtedly have been recovered by Starfleet. Realising how this advanced technology the Borg utilised could benefit mankind and trying to make up what they could by what little debris remained, it may very well be that Starfleet tried to repair and even replicate this technology and any remaining programming that was still present, creating control. An artificial intelligence wanting to be more than the sum of its parts began manipulating the Federation in the 23rd century, trying to learn all that was learnable in order to evolve just like its predecessors, by simulating both technology and biological life forms, which of course Control deemed inferior to itself, only to be defeated by former Empress Philippa Giorgio, now an agent of Section 31. Of course, it would only be almost 20 years later that Vedra itself would reach Earth and transmit all that it had learned successfully, completing its programming and fulfilled its own desire to join with its creator. And this is where I often ask myself, will our technology try to destroy us, like Control? Will it try to rule over us, like the Borg? Or will we evolve together, harmoniously, to become something higher? Honestly, I don't know. But these are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, as it would help my channel grow. But I'm sure it won't assimilate you. I hope. Until next time, my friends, here in the Continuum. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my PayPal, or consider becoming a channel patron, the links to which are both in the description below. Live long and prosper, my truckies, and until next time, here in the Continuum.